Hello guys, welcome back. Today we have here, as you can see, an integrated amplifier. I really believe a well-designed, high-quality amplifier in your audio chain is really important to enjoy the best your speakers and sources may have to offer. So in this video, I'd like to talk about the Arcam SA20 integrated amplifier. This is a well-featured amplifier. It retails for $1650 USD. It has 5 analog inputs. One of them is a moving magnet phono stage. It has 3 RCA inputs. One of them can be configured as an HT bypass, which essentially sets the chosen input in unity gain to integrate this amplifier into your home theater setup. The 5th input is an aux input in the front panel. This also has a built-in 32-bit DAC based on the Sabre chipset. This comes with 3 digital inputs, 2 coax, 1 optical, and you get to play with 7 different digital filters for your listening pleasure. It has 1 set of RCA pre-outs as well for using this unit as a preamp and powering an external amp, or you could use that to connect subwoofers. The advertised output is 90 watts per channel at 8 ohms, 150 at 4 ohms. And the size and weight of this amplifier is quite manageable. It's petite, it's standard width, but its height is manageable in shelves. It weighs about 20 pounds. Seems like plenty of power for its size. And the splash Arcam is making on its tech pitch is that they've implemented this Class G amplifier topology. To explain this very simply in layman's terms, what Class G is that during low to moderate listening levels, the amp is operating in Class A. And at higher levels, when there's a surge in demand for power, it gets the power from an additional dedicated rails that supply the needed juice, but at a much higher efficiency than Class A. Class G amps and the similar Class H amps have been around for a while in the realm of pro audio, cinema, or commercial amplification applications. Now, the topology may have been around since the early 80s, but the execution of this type of amplification for low noise audiophile quality application requires solid engineering and careful attention to detail. And Arcam has done just that, so that's pretty cool indeed. So how does this amp sound? Let me start with the moving magnet phono. I use the Artefon 2M black cartridge, and the amplifier powered my vintage B&W Matrix 801 Series 2 speakers. Okay, so I think I've mentioned Jacinta previously in one of my videos. I love her voice and her style, especially when she covers some really awesome, timeless Brazilian jazz classics. This album by Jacinta is called The Girl from Bossa Nova. One of the tracks here is called So Nice. Talk about vocal presence in the room. This record is pressed extremely well, and through the moving magnet input of the SA10, I enjoyed this track and in fact the entire album. But in particular, the song called So Nice, I find it to be really sweet and a really catchy tune. Her vocal performance, the piano arrangements, the acoustic guitar, the percussion arrangements as well, all were reproduced with excellent clarity. Plenty of air in the recording, nice attack, sustain, and decay, and again, the presence of the instruments very well knit together by excellent timing. Another album that can showcase this in-room presence of instruments is this one called Street of Dreams by Bill Charlap Trio. It's a recent release by Blue Note. On the piano we have Bill Charlap, Peter and Kenny Washington on bass and drums. All tracks in this album are beautiful, and the piano here through the SA20's Phono stage sounds powerful like a real Steinway. On side A, there is this track called You're the World to Me. And this track has a nice, short, but snappy drum solo that's so fun and punchy to listen to via the built-in moving magnet phono. Now, I also used a Chord Huey outboard phono stage into the line inputs of the SA20. The Huey brought much more drama, scale, dynamic contrast to the music. But then again, the Huey costs as much as the SA20 itself. If you haven't watched my review on the Chord Huey, I'll put up a link for you guys as well. But by doing this, I know the SA20's line stage inputs are up to snuff, that they are capable of faithfully amplifying the high quality sources that you feed it with. Okay, now moving on to the built-in DAC. As mentioned before, there are 7 digital filters. Arcam explains that no digital filter is perfect. All are a compromise between various parameters that introduce artifacts into the audio band, like aliasing, ringing, phase anomalies, and whatnot. The default setting on this is called apodizing, which Arcam feels is the best compromise based on their extensive measurements that they've taken. But you may find subtle changes depending on your preference or your type of music that you listen to. So you can experiment by selecting one of those 7 filters from the front panel of the amplifier. I played around with them a bit, and I didn't find them to be vastly different. So there were some subtle differences, but I settled on the default setting for the rest of the review. For my source, I used the Bluesound Note 2 streamer, and I was quite happy with how fast and yet relaxed the sound was from the built-in DAC. Okay, now going on to digital albums. Ramsey Lewis Trio. The album's called Time Flies. This album is unique in the sense that the tracks are of different genres here. Some are jazz interpretations of Bach and Brahms classical tunes. Some are actually gospel numbers. Some are Latin tunes. But I want to tell you about this track, and it's called Open Up My Heart. It's a gospel number with a choir singing. Now, gospel isn't usually my first choice or style of music to listen to, but from the first notes of this track, I was simply hooked, simply mesmerized. There is a sweet organ layered in the background as well. And when the standing bass and the drums kick in, man, you can feel it. The song has this simple, gentle rhythm that captivates you with its gentle ebbs and flows. And then the choir starts, and then it sounds so sweet. Through the SA20's built-in DAC, you can see these sonic images of these voices in the choir, and you will feel the impact of the bass, the weight of the piano, and not just brute weight of Ramsey Lewis's fingers hammering the piano keys, but I could also appreciate the subtle changes in the pressure he laid on the keys to communicate the emotions. Absolutely breathtaking piece. I really loved how this track sounded on the SA20's built-in DAC. Okay, to give you my final thoughts, the strength of this amp lies in its ability to convey the presence of voices and instruments in a good recording in your room. A very good performing moving magnet phono stage and a fantastic built-in DAC. If there is one criticism, it is that I did observe at higher listening levels, At higher listening levels, the amp maintained the bass attack, articulation and clarity, and even the mid-range was tight with perfect timing. But the high frequencies, I felt the amp started losing that air and texture at higher volumes. It didn't turn bright or fatiguing or unpleasant, but I noticed the loss of air and shimmer around instruments, around cymbal taps, cymbal rides and crashes. And the sonic images were now somewhat speaker locked. They didn't seem to image as well. Okay, guys, I hope you liked the video. I enjoyed sharing my thoughts with you on this well-featured, respectable amplifier. Please share, like, and subscribe. And please don't forget to click the notification bell, because coming up next is a video on the Denon PMA 1600 integrated amplifier, and hopefully shortly after that a comparison video of these two amplifiers. Thanks for watching. See you soon.